Work-life balance is a myth. Now hold up, don't worry, I'm not getting all Emma Greed on you, but work-life balance is indeed a myth. In my book and in my work, I encourage women and all human beings to seek work-life harmony instead of work-life balance, because work-life harmony is realistic and achievable, whereas balance does not exist. So where did this notion of work-life balance come from? In the late 70s and early 80s, there was an economic downturn, and the economy required women to either go from part-time to full-time or to leave working in the home, because being a stay-at-home mum or being somebody who works from home is work, it's just unpaid and undervalued, and go into the workforce to contribute to the economy. Now, there were many women who reveled at the opportunity of being able to go to work, to be able to exercise the academic qualifications they had worked so hard for, and be able to financially contribute to their families. There were lots of women who saw this as a source of empowerment. They wouldn't have to be as reliant on their male partner or other people to be able to generate an income. They saw it as an opportunity to have freedom and to fight and push the drive for equality and equity further even more. But these women also had serious concerns. The infrastructure to support women with the emotional load that is much more prevalent with women than it is with men. Women tend to be the people that carry the domestic labour, the invisible labour. It's not invisible, people just choose to ignore it. They think all of these things happen by some magical fairy. Women do the care organising. They carry all the mental load for the family in the vast majority of situations. And women thought, it's all well and good us coming into the workplace, but who's going to take care of all of this invisible work we take care of day to day? And that's when the notion of work-life balance became popularized. Women were sold this story that they could achieve work-life balance. Things like TV dinners were created so that women were less worried about preparing meals for their family. And there was even a lot of spin about the health of these types of meals. There were more child after school clubs created so that, because the workday and the school day are not the same. There were loads of things put in place to encourage women to go out to work, but the real support, the real infrastructure necessary to support families was not there. Dovetail that with the notion of you can have it all. So women were sold this story that on one hand they could achieve work-life balance, and on the other hand they could have it all. These narratives came together to promote, to further a notion of women doing everything, spreading themselves thin, trying to be everything to everyone all over the place at a cost of themselves. If you believe the narrative that you can have it all, it's not true. You can have it all actually means you can do it all. And in you doing it all, you believe that one day I'm going to have all of this all and I'm going to feel satisfied. That day never comes. There's always more to get. There's always more all to do. There is no satisfaction at the end of it, which is why it works so well. You are constantly chasing a target that is always tantalizingly out of your reach. Who does it serve? It serves corporations that benefit from you commodifying yourself. So being a commodity, working and generating income for them, and then the small income that is generated for you, you then become a consumer, consuming your way to numb yourself, buying that nice bag, going on this holiday, doing all of these things that we believe we deserve, and we do, but at the end of the day, quite often we are using them as a tool to escape the drudgery, the dreadmill of everyday life under our society. So what is work-life harmony all about? When we consider work-life balance, the bulk of the domestic and emotional mental load still remains with women. Globally, women are in charge. 75% of that work is done by women globally. It changes country to country, but we live in the world, right? The notion of work-life balance creates a belief that you need to balance everything and be doing well everywhere all the time. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen. It sets you up for failure. But when you think about work-life harmony, it moves, it ebbs, it flows. It's a rhythm that goes up and down and around and around. That is more realistic, bearing in mind the cyclical nature of the lives we live. Take, for example, Luciano Pavarotti's Nessun Dorma. Nessun Dorma is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. It has slow, low, dulcet tones. You're taken on a journey. It goes up and it goes down, and then it has that beautiful crescendo towards the end. We have a tendency to try to live like we're in that crescendo, that high crescendo all the time. Listen to Luciano Pavarotti's Nessun Dorma and keep listening to that crescendo on loop. When you do that over and over again, it sounds like a bloody racket. It does not sound like a beautiful song. That is what we do when we're trying to do this work-life balance business. When we recognize that life has a rhythm, and sometimes in some areas it will be up and sometimes in some areas it will be down, we normalize the ebbs and flows of life. Furthermore, we can start to seek support for the reality we face rather than the ideal. So for example, if you are in a season where work is really busy and you need to focus your attention there more and you're going to be expending more of your energy in that direction, you can see that coming. You appreciate that you do not have balance, you cannot have it all, so you are more likely to ask for help. Rather than nagging, hinting, hoping the people around you notice, you have agency, you have power, and you state your needs. You can say to the people you live with, if you live with people, work is very busy at the moment. You all are always my priority. But for the next 3 months or however long it is, I have got this big project, which means I'm going to be spending more time working, and there may be occasions where I need to bring work home so that I can get this done. That way, you can start having conversations with your family about what support you need during that period of time. Rather than managing expectations, you create agreements with people. Expectations are no good. They set people up because people are not mind readers. But when you state your needs and you form agreements based on what's going on, you will find that you can be supported. There is a author, and maybe she's a coach or something, called Tosha Silver. And she has this poem called The Abundance Prayer. I think it's called The Abundance Prayer. And within that, there is a line that it says something along the lines of, "May I allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me." If the people around you care about you, they want to support you. When you're being hyper independent and over functioning, you do not give them an inroad to be able to support you. When you state your needs, you facilitate that. Same thing with your work. You may have a situation going on at home, and I know that employers are not as generous as our family can be, but rather than trying to spread yourself thin and then do everything, you can say to the person you report to, "I have got this going on in my home life, and I'm going to need a little bit of support whilst I get through this." Most managers, leaders are going to support you with that. They don't want you to suffer. They understand that your well-being impacts how you're able to function at work. So when you adopt work-life harmony instead of work-life balance, you open yourself up to receive the support you need in the season you need it. So I encourage you to think about, well, not even think about, I encourage you to look at your diary honestly and look at what you will change and how you will organize yourself differently if you come from a place of work-life harmony as opposed to work-life balance. If you want to know more, I will put a link to my book in the comments, in the show notes, whatever we call them here on YouTube, the description, so that you can purchase a copy of my book and read all about it. If you're more of an audiobook person, my book is available on audiobook. And if you have a Spotify premium account, you will be able to listen to the audiobook as part of your subscription. And the bonus of listening to the audiobook is that you hear me and my dulcet tones guiding you through the exercises and leading you through the guided meditations. So, tell me, what do you think? Work-life balance or work-life harmony? Let me know in the comments. Until tomorrow, take care. Goodbye.